What's up, everybody? It's me, Juniper Bloom Mystique. I am your Ascension Master, Master Healer, and Divine Guide. I am the one who brought about the Ascension for the planet, not for everybody individually, but for the whole entire planet. It's a pretty big deal. So if you don't know what that means, everything is on my channel for all of you to see, okay? It is a lot to process and understand. You're talking activating pyramids, bringing down activated Christ light, clearing Mount Shasta. There's so much, and it's all on my channel for all of you guys to see. Even healing the Divine Masculine, which I'd say out of everything, that was like my most difficult challenge. My roughest part on this journey, but I've even made it through that, okay? So welcome to my channel. Please do all of your research before you do make comments. That is the only thing I ask of you. And to be open-hearted and just ready to awaken and ascend, because if you found me, the chances are that it is there for you to do, okay? All right, so I'm coming on today to talk about some things, okay? Spirit really wants me to talk about a few things, okay? What are the steps to awakening? Are you guys aware of the steps to awakening? So first of all, today, I have a workshop, all right? And that's not what this video is really about, but the reason I'm bringing this up is because when I do these workshops, I never know what's coming until it's time for it to come. And I did a workshop. I'm doing one tonight at 6:30 Mountain Time. And in this one, they told me today, or was it last night? I can't remember, but I just found out that the purpose of this workshop is to activate dormant chakras nobody knows about. And I'm like, what do you mean? Like, there's 140 some chakras. Like, people know there's chakras that are hidden. What do you mean there's ones that nobody knows about? Well, when Atlantis fell, it was supposed to be ascending. All right. So the same thing kind of happened in Atlantis. It's like God stepped in and did an intervention, and they were supposed to ascend. They were supposed to choose the light, and they became corrupted. Okay. And then it all fell, right? And if you watch the work that I do, if you're new here, you have no idea what I'm talking about. Anyways, 222. So please watch all the videos on my channel. But there was even a recent meditation where it showed you that I rewrote Atlantis, okay? So I have risen Atlantis. I know this sounds nuts, but it's all on my channel. It's all proven, it's all witnessed, and you can even watch it yourself too, okay? You can see all the steps I took. You can watch all the workshops that were done over the last almost 3 years. So it's not like this is just made up, okay? This stuff came through and I didn't even know what it was, all right? So it's bigger than me, even though I brought it through, and it's bigger than all of you. Okay, so unless you're living under a rock or you're not awake or whatever, most of you know that there's stuff going on this planet, right? Well, I found out tonight because the last workshop, or the last meditation I did, one of the last ones on my channel, we rewrote Atlantis. So in the Akasha Records, they rewrote it. Akasha Records are really important right now, too. So this video is a little bit about a couple things, okay? It's about the steps to awakening, what is awakening, and what's happening tonight to the earth, because I am going to be ascending Atlantis and the earth together. We are going to be activating chakras that nobody knows exists. That's exciting. That means that we're ascending it all together into a new space and time, okay? A new existence completely. Talk about 5D. I don't know what these chakras are. I know they're embedded in the earth, and I know they will activate the ones inside of you for those who join me only today. They're saying because this is a big one. So if you wish to receive these, join it. Otherwise, it's going to take some time for everybody else to be able to feel into these ones, because in order to get there on your own, so that's what's going to lead me into stepping stones to awakening, right? So there are certain steps to awakening. And it used to happen through trauma, okay? Trauma used to trigger people. It'd have to be something major. Usually. There was not usually a sudden awakening. It was very rare. Awakenings would happen through trauma, and people would start searching for reasons why. They would start searching in, and then some things would happen, and everything would change, and then they would go on a healing journey like they never expected before. Okay, and that's the way I woke up. I had trauma upon trauma that got me to really shift some things, and then my whole world changed. I had a Kundalini awakening, and it just went whoo, crazy from there, and my whole world was redirected. I found I was moved to my twin flame. Like, it was nuts. It was nuts, okay? So awakenings are powerful. They're not easy. They're never easy. If you're having a true awakening, the image I saw that made sense to me was like splat right on the ground, right? It's like, wake up. Your whole world is not what it seems. And it's painful. Okay? It's painful. And I went through this soul cleanse thing that this lady named Corinne was doing on Facebook. And hers is not the same. Hers was designed to heal you enough to let you see certain things so that you keep going back to her. And I was like, I still had a lot of work to do, right? I still had so much work to do. And Spirit took me through that, okay? And I remember so many people going through her thing and still struggling and coming to me, and it all makes sense now, okay? So the reason why people are awakening now and they don't have a choice but to do so is because the work I did on the planet, right? It was a lower vibration. We had a huge veil you had to get through. That's why it was difficult to have an awakening. There is certain steps of healing that you must do in order to actually awaken, okay? It deals with just layers. It's all layered. But to truly awaken, certain things have to move. Certain things have to be freed. And that's the truth, okay? And so that's why some people are now awakening, because of what I did to the earth. Like, you don't have a choice now. But people are awakening, but it's not like they're continually awakening. It takes time when you're doing it that way, because as I've ascended the earth, it's like the vibration has risen so high that people don't have a choice, right? You don't have a choice but to start to go into that, right? And the reason the Divine Masculine is waking up is because I had to heal so much in order to get him to do so. Like, it's real. And it takes some time. I know, because I'm an Ascension Master, okay? And so if you guys do want help, I had to come up with something called Stepping Stones to Awakening. Stepping Stones to Awakening, okay? And it's relevant because it shows you the steps that are needed to take in order to awaken. And it takes you from, no matter where you're at now, no matter where, I don't care if you think you're awakened. Remember, when I created this, it was a couple years ago, in the height of doing the pyramids, and I was very, 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 very engulfed in very high energies at that time with the masters when I created it. And I remember I had so many people that went through that soul cleanse with me, and they needed this. They still were not awake, okay? There was another guy named Chuck. He was on here years ago, but I deleted that video. I did an interview with him because he did Stepping Stones to Awakening. He couldn't wake up before that. Like, he was struggling really bad. Once he did that, he didn't struggle anymore, except for things got him, or whatever happened to him. I'm not exactly sure. But I remember once he did that course, he was like, whoa, it changed his world, okay? So there's a difference between master healing, actual really truly healing into it, because the Stepping Stones to Awakening that I did really does take you through those steps, and then boom, your whole life is like you're awakening and you're ascending. Like, there's no choice beyond that. But then again, it keeps going, right? Because we're all in layers. So the work that I do actually keeps going, just like what I did to the earth, okay? So it makes a lot of sense to me. It's like we used to have to go through so much trauma to get us to kind of look outside of that dense energy, to get us to snap out of that fog, right? It's like a brain fog, right? It really is. It's like a brain fog that we come out of as we awaken. It's like, wow. And then you're even like, why couldn't I see this before? Like, why didn't I see this before, right? And so I'm so excited about this. Like, it just makes so much sense to me. And now I understand why I did that course. So what that is, it's a 5-day course. I think one of them we did like 2 days in one, but I believe it was recorded on Zoom, and I believe each one was a good hour or two long, like maybe even more, I can't remember. And it is like a 5 days, not a 21 days. You don't need 21 days. That was the one that I did. It was called the Soul Cleanse, and it's not what woke me up at all. It did a little bit, right? It helped me wake up even more, but it's not the reason I had my awakening necessarily. I started having that prior, and then the steps, I just kept following these certain things because it was already inside of me, right? And then I had a full-blown Kundalini awakening. If you don't know what that is a life force energy rising up your spine like a snake. And I've seen depictions of real Kundalini awakenings, you guys, and they are BS. I know what a real awakening is because I had one so intense. Like, it is euphoric and it is such a good feeling and it is so intense. But I will tell you that not everybody can have a Kundalini awakening. Okay, you're not supposed to unless you're supposed to. You know what I mean? Because it changes your life purpose. All right, only certain individuals have that in order to help others in a bigger way. Okay, and not everybody takes on that task, and it's so Kundalini energy is very alive and awake. Okay, now mine was even different than that. It was way more powerful than any I'd ever heard of before, and that is what took me into the ascension stuff. I ended up having to move my home even though I didn't want to, and all this kind of crazy stuff happened to me. And so on a smaller scale, that is happening to a lot of people across the globe right now. And unfortunately, I'm seeing a lot of people not waking up because either they're following a false light or they're still being, most of them are just following the wrong light. That is actually running rampant. So I had to do a Facebook video, you guys. Before I did that one, my solar plexus was in so much pain. And I attempted to do it like a few days before and I didn't do it. And a lot of people didn't come, but I had to do a guided meditation on there. And as I did it, my solar plexus was better. Like, I found out there's a lot of voodoo energy going, like black magic is what they were calling it. You can even watch that. It's on my Facebook page. It was a guided meditation I did recently. It was insane. Like, the stuff I found out in there, and I had this huge book in my solar plexus. It was like all of this knowledge, right? And so, I don't know if it's the Bible. Somebody I know is supposed to have the true Bible downloads, and then she didn't follow the rest of the awakening stuff or the pyramid things because I think she followed the wrong light too. I'm not sure, but I'm kind of getting confirmation on that. So it's really sad, okay? There's a big push for people to follow the wrong light. That's the same thing that happened with my twin flame and I. It's not a joke. Because they know they're on their way out, my dudes. They cannot stay here. You cannot stay here, okay? If you are not of the light, if you are not going into the light, if you are not removing whatever is out of your vessel that doesn't belong in the light, okay? Which is why stepping stones through awakening is coming up right now in the energy. The steps to awakening, how important they are. Tatanka is in that one. He's a Sioux healer that was alive in the 1800s. This is when I met him. I didn't even know he existed. He just came through for that. This was also around the time I cleared Mount Shasta. Because I remember we were doing shadow work. Shadow work for Mount Shasta. And then it ended up going into stepping stones to awakening. Okay. And so you really do go through steps. If you guys really do want to see those steps, you don't have to. But whoever's called to that, I'll post the link to that below. Okay. It's a very important one that I would say it's not one-on-one with me. So you won't be live with me. These were recorded when I was actively in some of the most powerful energies you can imagine, okay? And I couldn't stay in those forever because that would probably kill me, because they were very, very, very potent and very, very, very powerful, because then I went into activating all the pyramids. And so when you watch these, if you do stepping stones to awakening, which I do recommend because it's detrimental, like it takes you through the actual real things you need to heal to awaken. And it doesn't matter if you're already awakening. It will only help you more. Okay? It's a really big deal because, oh, I got chills. It cleanses your shadow. Like, there's so many layers to it. Okay? And it's just, it's very powerful. And again, everything's in layers. So is that your end all to end all? Nothing ever really is. Even as a healer, I still have to keep healing. Okay? Because we are layers. But even a girl that's been following me forever, she's like, one of my meditations I recently did on Facebook, she's like, that was so powerful. She's like, I've been affected before, but that one was whoa. And I told her the same thing. It's all in layers, okay? That's why it's super important to actually do the healing through somebody that knows what they're doing, okay? Through somebody that truly is connected to the highest light, because the ones that I came through, a lot of people follow this person, and I will tell you, she's not connected to the highest light. Okay, she's still doing things in Mount Shasta and all this other stuff, and I'm like, you guys realize I killed Mount Shasta like a long time ago. There's no energy there that can benefit you. That's not a joke. I mean, it may still be a pretty place for the time being, but it will not remain. Mount Shasta will not remain anything special at all, because it's not. I cleared it out. That was 11/11/20, and that is on my channel for you guys to see if you wish to see it. It was in stages. It kept occurring through the pyramid activations too. Okay, so the steps to awakening are quite vast and quite large, and I have it all summed up into a 4-day workshop that I've already done. Okay, so you don't have to worry about me like being in your face. It's all recorded, it's all done, but it was very, very powerful. It doesn't matter. And so if you've already purchased that one, I recommend you do it again. That's what Spirit's actually calling for right now, because of these shifts, right? We're in this new moon energy. There's huge shifts. They did switch. We did just go into a new timeline into 4D, you guys. Well, some in 4D, some in 5D. Okay, some of us, those who did my work, it's very few, are getting to go into 5D, and then some light workers and star seeds who follow their path are too. But very few, right? You can tell if you're getting to go into 5D or not. But for the most part, it's all in stages. We're all at different stages, right? Which is why it's like stepping stones to awakening. What part do I need? What step do I need next? What's coming next, right? Like, people don't really understand it. And so it's all like, now I'm seeing how important my work is and the purpose of what it all meant. And I'm just like, you know, the only thing that sucked is all that darkness and energy trying to keep me down, which I can't do anymore. So that one I did on Facebook, I actually got my power back, and then the phoenix rose out of my solar plexus, because there were people trying to sabotage me still to this day. There's a reason for that, you guys. Just like on my twin flame journey, if you watch that, holy hell, there was a major battle for his soul. God, I couldn't imagine if he treated me the way I treated him, we'd all be in trouble. Because there was a huge battle on his soul, and I ended up freeing his soul before I could awaken him. And this has taken me a good 2 years now. 2.5 years I've really been attaching to him and working on that and dealing with it. So it's a big deal. The ascension is very big. I can see it all the way out to the beginning of time. And then today we are ascending Atlantis. So there's only more energies coming through. Okay, there is only going to continue to be more energies upon more energies upon more energies coming through for all of you as we go, which is why they're calling for these things now, and for people to understand what it is. And granted, I can hear people say, well, I could just do nothing and I'm going to ascend. No, that's not true. Okay, if you are not actively releasing and healing and getting the downloads and the DNA activations, you're not going to be able to ascend. And unfortunately, most people aren't telling that part of it. Some people are. The light workers, the star seeds, the De La Roca guys that I recommend tell you to you guys all the time. Leandria Anka is another one that she sees what I do. She's very in tune with 5D and all that kind of stuff. It's pretty cool to watch these people across the board see the work that I do, and they don't even know me. Like, I would do the work. It's all on my channel, and then they would come out like a day or two later talking about it. It was pretty cool. So it is a big deal, okay? It's a huge deal. These energies are massive, and people are struggling. It's hard, it's difficult, it doesn't always feel good, okay? And some having a hard time connecting to their guides and listening to their guides, especially through these energetic shifts and the push of what you want to call the darkness, because that's very real. And I'll tell you what, you know, out of all this, I've never felt crazy until you meet somebody who's not awake, right? But when you're awake, it's like, yeah, everybody sees it, okay? That is awake. So if you guys want help with that, I've got a few things coming. I already have Stepping Stones to Awakening. It will show you all the steps you need to focus on and what you need to release. And if you've already purchased it, Spirit's asking you to do it again. Okay, so for those of you who do work with me and you've done Stepping Stones to Awakening before, do it again, okay? Because everything that I do, everything's in layers. It will affect you layer by layer by layer. It's not a one and done. All the meditations on my channel, if you do them more than once, you're going to go deeper. You're going to have different experiences every time. None of them are a one and done. Okay? So, super important stuff. I've got that workshop today. Oh, you know, if you feel called to join these, I recommend you do so. You know, that's up to you. It totally is. I am a true healer. When you work with me, you will truly heal. okay? And it will change your life. Even to the healing sessions that I do, when I see their medical ailments before I even talk to them, it blows their mind, okay? So just know that the work that I do is very powerful. It's you stepping into that. It's you choosing to evolve. It's you taking your power, right? So the two most important things at this time is that, taking the steps to release what you need to release, to receive what you need to receive. Because if you don't take certain steps, you can't make other ones. I don't care how many times they tell you, receive the light codes, receive the light codes. If you haven't healed certain aspects, it's going to be very difficult for you to do so. Because all healing is done in layers, okay? Even for somebody who had an awakening in years past, they would go through layers and layers, and it would be very painful. So being able to work with somebody who is a true healer, please don't follow the false light, because they are all over. To work with somebody who is a true healer is a gift and a blessing in the ascension. I wouldn't go any other way. Like, I always tell my guides, why don't I have somebody I could follow? And they're like, well, you're you. I'm like, oh shit. And so I have to ask my guides and my healers and the angels to help me all the time. Because there's steps we must take. There's steps we must take. Spirit school is also about steps we must take. This is what I teach my students in my alchemy. Is like, if you don't learn to connect and learn to take all these steps and heal all these layers, you guys, layers upon layers of stuff, you can't receive those light codes and DNA activations. Okay, and it's a big deal. And unfortunately, we've had misinformation going on out there, and that's why Spirit tells me I have to put my voice out there. So on my channel, I've been trying not to put my voice out there so much because of everything I've gone through. And then the twin flame thing, I mean, unfortunately, he made me feel a little, what he calls me, right? And so I would shut down a little bit. And I even had to go in and do a huge healing last night on my own again, you guys. And I talk about the Akasha records, right? Well, last night I decided I was going to go into my own Akasha record. And I did. And I got major answers for me and who I am. I am apparently in that. I don't even want to go into that. I'll do another video on that later if you want me to, because it's big and it blew my mind. And I found out some answers regarding my twin flame. His purpose was to protect me. That didn't happen. So it's really big, okay? These things are really big deals. But I was able to heal. And so when I go to the Akasha records, after I get my information, I always rise up. And then I'm with the Creator because of who I am. And he filled me with light. It was the most, and I was crying and shaking, and it felt so good. It was so healing. And then I was able to sleep so good. So if I've done all this other work for you, and I still have healing and layers that I have to get through to receive more, it's not a one and done, my dudes, and it's going to take a lot longer for those who don't do it. And that is why you're going to see people in stages, okay? That's why you will see people in stages. So just because somebody doesn't see what you see, but they may see the bottoms, it's just like I teach my people in my alchemy. Learning to talk to Spirit comes in stages. Learning to wake up comes in stages. It's like you learn this little bit, then you rise. You heal this little bit, you rise. You heal the next layer, you rise. You heal the next layer, you rise. Okay? Super important to continue doing the work. You will not ascend just simply by following people. I mean, slowly, slowly, slowly you might, okay? Because even just listening to things, it does change your perspectives a lot, and it does cause some releasing at times. But it's a very slow process that way. And then so your best bet, if you can't follow somebody like me and do the work, that's going to do it like that, okay? You're going to ascend, you're going to rise. Like for those that did the work with me, they're already going into 5D as long as they're following their guides. Okay? They're already healing in 5D. I taught them how to heal like I know how to heal, okay? But also according to their gifts. Do you understand what I'm saying to you? So, but they went through a lot to get there. Like they have worked with me for 2 years or more, those individuals have. And so it's just like I teach them. Everything's in layers and layers and layers, you guys. And we make it seem much more easier than it is. And I watch people watch a lot of my things that actually do them and comment on them, that are willing to receive those and open to God's light, that aren't afraid of it, that actually give it a try and then blow their mind, and then they're like, oh my God, and they keep going because it feels so good. It really does feel good. And then they're like, what? I'm not getting it. And you could see every individual in my workshop, everything was in different layers for each one of them, right? But each one of them would hit different marks. And even one of them would watch even my Hertz music that I do, okay? So everything I do on my channel is for ascension, it's for healing. It's all there. There's free stuff there too, my dudes. All the way back to the beginning of my videos, okay? Please utilize them. Utilize them more than once. They will help you in layers, all right? And I would definitely recommend Stepping Stones to Awakening. And if you choose, if you feel the call to do the workshop tonight, you can. You absolutely can, and they will open up those for you, okay? You receive when you're ready to receive. But if you join and you're not quite ready to receive in that layer, guess what's going to wait for you? It's going to be like in your energetic field. And then once you release enough to get it, it will just... Does that make sense? You guys getting it a little bit more now, I hope? I had to talk about this, okay? So I know it's a little bit of a weird video, but it was very important for me to talk about. It really, truly was. There's a few things I've got to do today and bring forth. But this one truly is about stepping stones to awakening, what it means to awaken, the steps to awaken, right? The steps we take to awaken, and what I'm doing tonight, because every time I do a workshop, it changes the earth. That's not a joke. I can't help that because of who I am. Which is why my monthly memberships are really important too, because on the 22nd, we always get together and do more ascension work. But this one's different. So tonight is truly about activating dormant chakras. We have 155 apparently, and nobody knows that. This is because we're going into a new space. I apparently have ascended the earth further than any other being has before, and I've talked about that recently. That's what they told me. The angels have told me this several times. Nobody's ever made it that far. I should have died actually about 3 times. Even my twin flame journey should have killed me, because his soul was already taken. Okay, I actually freed it. It all plays out on my channel. I know it doesn't make a lot of sense. It's a lot. It's a lot to process. It's a lot to go through. It's a lot to understand. But I, on a very, very, very deep level, understand all of this. Okay. And when I was like, what do you mean we're activating new chakra systems nobody knows about? How is it that nobody knows about it? And they're like, Miss Bree, you ascended us into new heights. And I'm like, oh, I get it now. And then they showed me Atlantis. And before Atlantis fell, I was supposed to ascend it also. But my light was actually stolen. So I found that out in the Akasha records, okay? I asked who I was in the Akasha records. I am the daughter of God. You all were created by the gods, right? Different, so I helped create humanity. That's who I am, okay? I was like one of the first star systems to exist, which was the Pleiades. And I found a lot out. Like, it makes a lot of sense now. And I know it sounds cuckoo, but it's real. I would love to do a hypnosis. I've talked about that many times. Put me under in front of all of you. I will be glad to do it. I was hypnotized one time, and the guy freaked out because I went straight to God. And I've never seen him again. He used to be on my channel. I don't know where he went, though. I would love to still see him. Like, if you want to come and hypnotize me again, please do. But he, like, freaked out and went and got rid of everything he owned. And I'm like, what are you doing? And he's like, that's not normal. And I'm like, oh, God, okay. Like the end of the world, right? But I keep telling you all, it's not the end of days, but it is the end of ways. So this is a big deal. Just imagine this, okay? Somebody comes in and says, your earth is going down the wrong path. We're changing it. You now have a choice between the wrong path or the right one. Either you are ascending or you are not, right? The choice is yours, and we've laid it all out for you. But the problem also is there's been too much misinformation on what it takes to ascend. And that's why when I shut out on my channel, they were like, I got very ill. Very ill. I couldn't quit. You know, I have to put my information out there. Even as afraid as I was, anything like that. I have to put my information out there because it is what's real. Hence the book in my solar plexus. I have the correct info, okay? As much as I didn't want to, because I didn't. I didn't ask for this. I didn't choose spirituality. It found me, okay? It's who I am. All right. So it's a lot of stuff. It's very, very cool information. Everything I've talked about has been proven and included on my channel for you. I have a playlist about the ascension. You can watch that. I do need to update the twin flame one because I didn't understand the whole thing. I did not understand the whole thing. Okay. And I do now. So the twin flame depiction for the ascension will be updated. Okay. Just the full gamut of what it meant for the ascension. It's important, and it will also have to go in my book. And it's not completed. They must still unite. And I don't know what to do about that anymore. I've done everything I can do. Like, seriously. So that one's out of my hands at this point. For the most part, right? I still have to love me, take care of me. I even asked my own Akasha Records what I could do again to fix that. And I did get an answer. So we'll see. See what else they want me to say on this video. Also, on the last workshop that I did, where we do our monthlies, they did a DNA activation on my throat because I was attacked by somebody else, not just my twin flame. Not he didn't do it, but the darkness that was around him attacked both him and I. It was very, very bad, and it was all played out on my channel as well. But somebody else did it again, and so they had to repair my throat, and then they did this DNA activation again, and then I was like, ah, I guess apparently my throat is very healing also. So I have mantras on here. I have everything you guys need. Like, seriously, if you guys do the work with me, there's no way you won't ascend. There's no way. You're doing it with the person that brought about the ascension. But you can't just sit back and think, oh, because I'm connected this bit, I'm going to ascend. No. If you're not actively receiving DNA light codes, activations, diamond light codes, chakra cleansing and ascending, like, we are now in a crystalline body. So the last workshop I did, they integrated our light bodies. Okay. And then I even got to do one on somebody else because she was ready to receive it. You see what I'm saying? So it just depends on who you are and when you're ready to receive these things. But if you're not actually actively having these experiences, you may not be going in when others do. You know what I'm saying? Okay. Again, layers. Some people go quicker than others, all right? If you're taking the slow journey, there is different paths, okay? But as long as you are able to see the light, you keep choosing the light, you keep... There's like so much you could do on your own, yes, but it's a process, and I hope you're doing it, okay? Please do it. If you don't know how to meditate, if you don't know how to heal yourself, if you don't know how to receive all these things, I recommend following somebody that's real and that can do it. Okay? Does it have to be me? No. I can get you right where you need to go, no holds barred. Like, no joke. I'll get you there. What you need, what you want, I got you. I'm God's light. Okay, that's true. I hold the white flame. That came through on here for you all too. Right? Like, this is pretty badass. When I first had my awakening, I didn't understand all this. I was not into spirituality. I avoided it because my parents were, and they were druggies. And so I put those two together. I'm like, man, it's craziness. Nah. It's not for me. Turns out I had a big purpose in spirituality. It's truly who I was, okay? And so my journey was very different, very rough. And man, was I strong. And I had to be strong. And I still have to be strong. And now I feel so passionate about the work that I've done, knowing who I am, knowing what it took me to get here for all of you, what I had to do for all of you is huge. That's why when people try to claim things that are false, it doesn't upset me because I know what that is, but it's like, if only you guys knew what it really took. That after I activated the pyramids, in one of my pyramid videos, I talked about, I feel like I was dying. Something's dying. My heart was actually becoming enlarged. I used to be a lot skinnier, and I blew up. Like, I was very swollen, and my heart became very enlarged because I used my light to activate those pyramids. It was my light. Okay? I moved things on this earth. We shifted the earth. It really, we did. Science proves it now. All right? And not only that, when my twin flame thing happened, I was supposed to unite with him, and his soul was not even in the light, and I didn't know. I just felt this overwhelming love for him. And they did show me it was life or death. But again, when you work with spirit, it's hard to understand some of these things, especially for who I am, and nobody had any answers for me. And I just keep thinking, man, if I treated him the way he treated me, we wouldn't be here. So thank God I felt love, like beyond, because that almost killed me as well. He gave away my light, and I got a blood clot. My leg was black, and even Spirit said either I could die, or I can breathe and I could follow what they say. And so that's what I chose. I breathed. I kept breathing, even though it was very, 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 very painful what happened to me. And I was very, very ill. My heart was still enlarged, and I had my heart, I healed it, but then this enlarged it again, and I had a huge blood clot on my leg. It was black. It was black. Okay. And I chose life. I chose to breathe. I chose to follow the angels. I chose to go on a very difficult journey. Very difficult. That was 9 months in the making for that, to save his soul. And then after that, he's been slowly awakening because of the healing I've done for him. So now he can see the light. He can receive the light, and he can see the truths of his soul. And that's really what awakening is all about, in a short, like, maybe not on his level, right? Like, hopefully your soul is not already in the darkness, because that's not an easy journey. Man, they get in your head. The darkness, it gets in your head. Okay, it affects with ego. Ego and darkness, like, work together. Let me tell you, they know how to penetrate through that. And that's what they talk about, brainwashing. That's what they talk about, all that kind of stuff. They've talked about it. If you're following anybody who's a starseed and actually connected, that's what they talk about, right? You were all brainwashed. And boy, were you. Watch the Truman Show after you watch some of the stuff I've done. He tries to run away to Fiji. I didn't even know that was significant until I activated Fiji, and Fiji became the root chakra. Like that show. And then what they would do is they would create these movies of all your destruction and then make you pay for them to watch what's really happening to you. But you would be clueless nonetheless, and you would be spending so much money watching all this entertainment, but yet they were grooming you, just like they do little girls with pedophiles. They were literally grooming all of you. That's what brainwashers do, or cult leaders like Teal Swan. She is not of the light, by the way. Okay. And there's some on Facebook, even the one I came through, that is not of the light. And I look at them now, and they just look so different. Like, it's not where I look at my face and I'm like, there's a glow. You know what I mean? I went through a lot, but I still got the glow. So I'll take it. You guys, but there really is steps to awakening. All right? So I really hope you are taking them. That's what this video is about. If you're not taking those steps, you can't receive those light codes, okay? You can do it on your own, but you must know how to meditate, and meditate deeply, like deeply. You must be engulfed in that practice. You must be in balance in some ways, right? Like your chakra system at least must be receptive to receiving. And so if you don't even know what a chakra system is, if you're not actively releasing and healing, there's layers, okay? So, you know, that's why those that follow, there's another one like me. She's not highly connected like me. The beings do the work for her, where I do the work myself, because I am that. I'm higher than the angels. And I didn't realize that until I was doing my workshops, and they're like, and Juniper Bloom Mystique is going to heal you today. And I'm like, wait, what? So I was doing this stuff. Okay, so there's a difference. But there is one lady on Facebook that I've gone to a couple times. But now when I try to do them, it's not affecting me anymore. I'm like, damn it. And that's because I'm rising quicker than she is, right? And it's not that she's not rising. She will. But even she's a healer, channeling beings for all of you, and she's still behind me and those that I brought through. Do you see what I'm saying? So she knows how to receive more. She's always healing like crazy, but even she's behind me. Okay? And now hers are not affecting me so much. Why is that? Because hers are based in lower energies than what I am rising to. Okay? And so the choice is yours, what layer you want to be at, right? Hopefully you're choosing a layer. Hopefully you're choosing to do this. Hopefully you're choosing to heal and to work on addictions and to eliminate ego and to gain new perspectives on what true love, unconditional love is, and what the purpose of life was, and going into your life path, right? It's so amazing, okay? So on that note, there is steps to awakening, okay? And if you wish to make it easier on yourself and have somebody guide you through this, then join those. That's all you got to do, okay? Join the workshops, join the programs, do the healing, but follow the light. There are very few lights and a lot of darkness. Understand that, okay? And it's sick. On Facebook, it's really bad. Now I know I left there when I did. And man, so many people are still clueless on there. I'm like blown away. Oh my God. Fred, he's so cool. He's like, I don't know this guy. He's a cute, cute kid, man. I know he's younger than me. He's a handsome dude. His name is Fred. I know he's on, I don't know if he's on here. He's on Facebook. And he posts so much intelligent. He's very connected. I don't know who this guy, he might be in Africa. I'm not sure where he is. But he's very connected. He saw me way back when. He found me. And one of the posts he put was it made so much sense to me. It's like, I'm not trying to wake people up anymore. I'm not trying to get them to see the light, right? I'm only here for those that want to see it. It's like so many people chose because they were following false light. And it's really sad. And I see that. And I was being attacked. And I didn't realize how far my attacks were going, because if I was stopped, I wouldn't have been able to bring this about, right? But even the person... When I had my awakening, I went through a program that I found on Facebook, okay? There was certain things I did have to get and understand how to communicate with spirit, is all it was. That's all I needed, and I spent thousands on this lady for her to actually hurt me and use voodoo, apparently, to try to sabotage me, okay? That's a big deal, and you're not aware of it. Talk about psychic attacks, okay? And that's why me actually pushing myself back there and taking my power back was a really big deal, and it recently happened, all right? Because they hurt me very badly. Okay, so some may look like they're connected. Well, they talk to angels. You know, they may have at one point. Like at one point, she was connected. But you make choices and you let in less light and you let in more darkness, and then you make other choices and you let in more darkness and less light, and then the next thing you know, your soul has been sold, basically. And that's what happened to my twin flame too. Okay. You get manipulated, they manipulate you. The darkness actually takes away your free will. When I first was connecting to my twin flame, we kept pulling repeatedly the fallen angel card. Fallen angel card, what does that mean? Fallen angels are those individuals who are not of the light, and they will manipulate your free will. How do they do that? They got the silver tongue. They know what to say. They know what your fears are. They know how to manipulate you, okay? And she does it, and she does it well. And I can't tell lies, you guys. It came out in my pyramid activations also. I saw the tentacles, okay? There were people who were supposed to have super important things to occur. Super huge things, marks, okay? The people that actually did the work with me, my graduates from my Alchemy Academy, one of them helped me clear Salem, all right? Like, that's what I mean. You don't just follow me for me. You follow me for you. Does that make sense? If you're drawn to follow me, you follow me for you. Because she had a purpose. She's the one who took me to Salem. She's the one who said, I'm going to come back here one day and you are all going to pay. And boy, did they. Because she was pregnant when they hung her. Okay? She found me and she kept telling me, I think we got to go to Salem. And we thought physically, well, let's take a trip out to Salem. Sure, right? And so we were kind of talking about that. Little did we know it was going to come a year later in our healings. Do you see what I'm saying to you? That's how vast and important some of your soul contracts were, your purposes. And also people like the woman that I came through in her Angel Alchemy Academy thing, she was undoing contracts. And that was also devastating to me. It's because I was more protected than all of you are, okay? I always have been. But all of you are not necessarily that protected. So some of you, unfortunately, have had contracts undone that should not have been undone. That went through that, or went through somebody that's not the light. That's how quick it is. Boom, you think you're following somebody that's connected. Well, they say they talk to the angels. It looks legit, but what you don't realize is she steals half of the work from other people. If you look on her Facebook stuff, all the disclaimers actually say, whatever you put on my thing is now property of me. And she will ask you, what are your ideas? What are you working on? she also used to block my reviews from going on her page. Why? Right? Like, there was a lot going on, and I can see it all clearly now. And it's devastating to me because I know, and Spirit has even confirmed this for me, is that some people miss their marks because of that. It's sad, and it leaves holes in your soul. And they probably don't even know it. Okay? They probably don't even know it. That's also very sad. So the darkness and the light are very subtle in telling the difference at first until you heal more, and then you can't miss it. Once you see it, it can't be unseen. But until that veil is lifted that they put on you, oh, look at that. The veil's there. Lift the veil that they put on you. Then you can see. That's what Stepping Stones to Awakening does completely. Okay? And the people that did her cleanse were coming to me. And that was amazing to me. I was like, why do I need to do this? I didn't know who I was. Why do I need to do this? She's already doing this. I didn't see who she was at that time fully either. And Spirit would show me these things, and I didn't understand it. And now I'm hoping I can recover some of that. I'm hoping we can recover some of that. And we can get back people on their path that we're supposed to be. Because when I did that guided meditation recently on Facebook, there was a member of the 144,000 being covered by her. And they didn't know it. I don't know who it is, because they didn't come to the live. They will come eventually. But they were being duped by false light. And these people look like they're connected. People don't understand it. But I don't need drugs to open my heart. Do you understand what I'm saying to you? I can see that Mount Shasta has been cleared because I did it. And I'm not afraid of my own videos to watch the proof. Okay? I can tell you that I reactivated Fiji as the Earth's root chakra. Mount Shasta is literally dead. If you go there and think that you're feeling energy, what did you do? Drugs to open your heart? Maybe you went on a spiritual journey that way. But according to Spirit, that only starts it. If you have to do that every time, you're missing something. Okay? They told me my son needed ayahuasca, but instead, we never got it, so I got to call him into one of my workshops. But that would have been a one and done. Do you understand? You should be able to do that and then learn how to connect on your own. You can open your own heart. You don't need drugs to do so. If you do, it's because it's too shrouded and you're not taking the right steps. Okay? Is it beneficial to some light? Yeah, it can be. But if you can't learn how to do it without that afterwards, you're missing the mark. Do you understand? I know how Spirit communicates. I had to learn how to communicate with Spirit on deep, deep, deep levels to make it through my journey. Deep levels. Communicating with Spirit goes in layers. Okay? Let me tell you, because I had my awakening. Everything happened for me in 3 years' time. From my awakening to all the way to Christ's light being returned. And freeing Jesus' soul and finding who I am and getting the twin flames together. Now it's on him. I don't know what else to do. You see what I'm saying? So there's a lot. Now I know why I'm the teacher and I have my Alchemy Academy and I have to keep that going. I will tweak it and I will make it right for me, but it's very powerful and necessary, okay? Because so many people have been duped and they don't even know it still. They don't even know it still. Okay? Darkness will do that, man. It will stab you in the back. It will manipulate your free will. They convince you they are one thing and they are not. They are not. And just because at one point somebody can talk to angels, maybe they made choices that didn't let in the light, let in darkness, and boom. If you focus on money and fame more than Spirit's purpose for you, you may not be at the light. Not that we're not allowed to have money and fame. We can, right? But that's not my focus. That was actually very hard for me to do. Spirit actually had to tell me, it's time for you to start charging for what you do. And then I'm like, oh, okay, it's a gift. I wanted to just give it away. Give it, heal, heal, heal. Like, it was so cool to me to actually heal people. Actually heal people. Not manipulate, give you a little bit, treat you like shit. And that lady even specifically told me, yeah, mine's designed to keep you coming back for more, but it's not manipulation. She told me that, and at first I was like, what the hell is she telling me that for? I didn't know who I was at the time. I didn't know why she was treating me so badly at first. But it hurt and almost made me quit my journey. There were several times like that. And I couldn't turn to anybody because it was the same thing. It was like judgment, and there was a lot of people on my path that didn't, unfortunately, make good choices. Okay, because what? The veil. Darkness puts this veil over you and you cannot see the light. Now I get my twin flame journey, you guys. I didn't understand it all the way because of that. I thought literally that he just chose this bitch over me. Excuse me, I shouldn't say that. But that's how I felt, right? When it happened, I'm like, he just chose her over his own twin flame and soulmate. And I didn't know that he couldn't see completely. His soul is already in the darkness and he was not awake. He couldn't see completely. Do you know how many of you are like that still? It's scary. It's scary. And I know it's all about free will, but I guarantee you most of you came here to ascend because your ancestors can only ascend through you. So let's wake up together. Because tonight there's something else bigger coming. So you're just missing all of these things. Like you should be way up here by now. You should be way up here going into 5D. So where are you at? What's going on with you? I've got everything you need. All right, so tonight's a really big movement for the planet. I am going to be activating dormant chakra systems nobody knows exist. They still won't show me everything for that, by the way. I see it in the earth, and then it's going to activate them in all of you. And that's all I see so far, okay? And then I'm like, what does this mean? And they're like, yeah, Atlantis is ascending now, too. So we went back to Atlantis, but now we're ascending all of it, okay? So we are going into heights that we're not expected to go into. The option was there. The hope was there. But most people don't make it. They actually told me the last person that tried this died. I don't know if that was me or somebody else or what, but some of it I still don't have the answers to. Which is why I would love to be hypnotized, right? Yeah. Anyways, okay. There's a lot going on. And the energies just keep continually coming. So if you guys are not keeping up with it, these changes are going to come and you're going to be blindsided. Do you understand? I was dumbfounded watching all these people who are supposedly following this spiritual stuff, and they're like still not understanding what's happening with the stuff around the earth. And they should be by now. They should be able to at least see some things at some level. And that, my friends, breaks my heart. Now, I know my journey wasn't normal, and when the twin flame thing happened, a lot of people stopped wanting to watch because he hurt me badly. It was a lot of up and down, and I had a huge battle for him. You don't even know what I did for my twin flame. That was a love that I gave out that was so powerful, and it's never been returned, even to this day. I'm not worth him caring more about me than anything else, and that's sad, right? So if I would have treated him the same, we would have been in big trouble, because during that time my arm got attacked. You guys notice my arm is not normal. It was severely broken, and even the hospital said they've never seen a break like that before. During the twin flame thing, when we were both being attacked because he chose darkness and he couldn't choose darkness or we were all going to be in trouble. It's not a joke, because he and I were supposed to bring down Christ's light and the twin flames were supposed to unite. But when he got shrouded in darkness and he let his fear get in his way and he made a choice I'm sure even he regrets to this day, because it hurt him and it hurt me, I was attacked the whole entire time. And I had to fight against that attack, because as I did, he would. Okay? I don't know if he watches my videos or not. I think he does, because Spirit has me put a lot out here. Either that or it just affects him by the work I do. I don't know. In my heart of hearts, I'd like to think he loves me, but the way he's treated me and the things I keep hearing, it's hard for me to believe that. But during that attack, I lightly fell. I just fell like anybody would, like just boop right onto the ground. Like I even asked the doctor something wrong with my bones. I was thinking my bones were super fragile at this point, because I fell so hard I immediately went into I didn't even fall hard, you guys. I just landed on my hand and I heard it snap. And I immediately went into shock, and even my kids were like, oh my God. Like my son heard it as well. He could hear the break. And it wasn't just a break, my dudes. I found out too that I had this thorn stuck in there that we had to pull out in the healing that I didn't even know was there. My twin flame did as well. He had a thorn, I know, because I think I removed it. But because when I freed Jesus' soul, they activated our hand chakras. Okay, I'm a healer. I can touch you and heal you, and I don't have to touch you and I can heal you. And I am the keeper of the white flame. So I'm supposed to bring that white flame up through my twin flame. And so I know it's all very complicated. This is true. This is who I am. And so that break happened, and I couldn't put anything in my system because he would have been taken down further. Because, you know, drugs get you. You know what I'm saying? And if I do anything in my system, he would have done them further. Okay? And so I couldn't even take pain pills for this break. And I couldn't do the surgery because if I did, it would have been bad for him. So I sacrificed my arm. You guys, I cannot bend it forward all the way anymore. I've become fully functional with it, except for like doing yoga. A lot of my hands is difficult, but I'm still doing it. When I first, I couldn't move it, so my bones are definitely not right. It was just a simple fall to my tushy. I wasn't falling from high. I even asked the doctor, is my bones weak? And she said, no, your density is good, like even stronger than what it should be. And I did a healing on my own, so it healed really quick. I was only in a cast for 5 weeks, which the doctor said that I was their miracle patient because I refused the surgery, and I wasn't supposed to be able to do much with it. Okay, I wasn't supposed to be able to do as much as I am doing with it. But when it broke, it completely severed the wrist. Like it was, all the bones broke, so whoosh, no wrist attached. All of my metacarpals were broken. And this bone right here splintered in half, and it actually poked out of my skin right here. You can see it kind of sticks out right there. It broke out of my skin a little bit. I had a wound right there the whole time I had the cast on. I even have a little scar right there. I just realized you might be able to see it. Tiny little scar right there because it did break out of my skin. Okay, I just literally just fell to my butt, and I caught myself with my hand. I didn't fall far. It wasn't like a lot of force, and it said snap. And I was like, oh my God, oh my God. I went into shock. Then the shock wore off, and I had to call an ambulance because I could not drive myself. And my kids were freaking out. Oh my God, poor kids. But I got to the hospital. This bone was slivered. It splintered all the way down to my elbow. Poked out of my skin right here, which they didn't do anything for that. They said I had to have surgery, but they didn't make me do it in the hospital. They actually physically moved my bones by squeezing my arm back together. They're like, you're going to not like this, but we have to do this. We can't leave you like this. And they literally, it was the most pain I've ever experienced in my life. They squeezed my arm back together. Not perfect, but I couldn't do surgery because of the twin flame attack. And, you know, it's all right. I can use it about 80% of the time. I have about 75% abilities to do what I used to do, like with opening things, and so I'm getting better. That was also part of my journey. So if you guys think that everything I went through, this ascension is nothing, wake up, my dudes, okay? And it was even confirmed that this was part of that attack. I sacrificed my arm for my twin flame. That's not a joke. It all plays out on my channel. So, I mean, look at it. I was in the hospital. They're like, that's not a normal break. And I'm like, what's wrong with me? They're like, we can't do the surgery here, but we can't leave you like this. And they're like, you're going to be put to sleep. And I wasn't put to sleep. And then they whoosh, and I was like, it was horrible. So in truth, you guys, I've sacrificed a lot for all of you. That wasn't just for my twin flame, but the love I felt for him is always what kept me going. And thank God I didn't treat him the way he treated me. Because I don't think we would have made it. So now, I have gone farther than anybody has ascending a planet before. That's the truth. Spirit told me that time and time again, and now even Landry Anka is seeing that. Who else saw that? Oh, Dolores Cannon even mentioned that. Like, she was getting downloads, and I talked about that we are going in places nobody's ever gone before. And now, that's why tonight, I get to activate a whole new chakra system. I'm so excited. You guys, I get to activate a whole new chakra system tonight. So, if you care to join me on any of this, if you care to really wake up and ascend and get the show on the road and stop bullshitting, stop suffering, and just ready to make your move, join me for anything that I've got. Watch all my videos. Awakening truly is about steps. Are you taking them? Are you able to see them? Are you actively receiving light codes? You guys realize even the last one I did on Facebook, I was activating still the 144,000. Okay? I've done that a couple times. Me. Alright? So, if you guys want to fast track above everybody else and go into 5D, I recommend doing Stepping Stones to Awakening. I don't care where you're at. The Spirit is also saying that if you already purchased Stepping Stones to Awakening, do it again. It's important for you now. Okay, you guys? If you've already purchased Stepping Stones to Awakening, it is important for you to do it again. Alright? Why? Because we are ascending into higher heights that we've never been before. Okay? Alright, you guys. That's it for this particular video. I will do others too today. See you later. Hasta la vista, baby. Oh, by the way, don't forget to like and subscribe, you guys. But I also ask for you to watch all of my videos before you have any opinions or comments on anything I've said today, except for questions. Feel free to ask questions. Because when you're asking questions, at least you're trying to find the answers. You're not in judgment, right? Don't take one thing I said and not ask questions or investigations. Because all the pyramid activations in the workshops, I actually put them on here for you guys to see. That's not every single one. I didn't do Christ Light, but even the return of sight, Jesus' soul was freed, and that's on here also for you guys to see. That's not just me talking about it. So I had one person come here and try to make a comment of, oh yeah, you did this? Listen, I'm not talking out my ass. I've got proof for everything I've said. And if you dare to work with me, you're going to see it too. Okay? This shit's real. We are going into high places. And tonight I am activating new chakra systems that none of you have ever seen before. I'm so excited, can you tell? So much love. Make sure you're taking your steps to awaken and ascend.